see if y'all remember these breakdowns. Daniel chapter 9, verse 24 to the end. Because I did a video concerning this preacher, this pastor, and he was going into it. He was breaking it down right. I got to the end, went left. I want y'all to go to Daniel 9, verse 24 to 27. And whoever want to take it, raise your hand. You can read it and break it down. And then we're going to have some, like I said, we're going to choose somebody who wants to do it. No, we're going to do it. Daniel, wait. This is for anybody. Daniel 9:24. Who wants to break it down? Who wants to go into it? Raise your hand. Nobody wants to break it down? I wanted somebody else to do it besides y'all veterans. I want to see more hands up. You want to do it? You're a veteran. All right, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Elder.
Daniel's 9:24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people.
So read it and break it down.
70 weeks. 70 weeks is going back into the time of Darius, son of Ahasuerus, Sea of the Medes, and it's dealing with 70 times 7, 490 years.
So what is this 490 years?
The 490 years, it says, are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression, the abomination that maketh desolate.
Somebody want to help them? Somebody want to help them? Anybody? Greeks? Take it over. Speak loud. Sorry. They can't hear. The Greeks? What is the 70 weeks? What does the 70 weeks represent? Daniel 9:24.
That time until the Lord came.
Okay, so what time? Give me a time.
From 168.
168?
No, I said 168 because it pushed back to the first chapter.
168 to the time of the Lord is not
Right.
70 weeks. So give me the timetable. Do y'all know this? Or y'all thinking about it? Hey, if you don't know, that's why we're going through it. It's been a while, but you should know it. Now see why Ariel would go over it over and over again. I haven't gone on over it because I think everybody got it. So now this video, if you watch the video I did with this guy, this pastor, he broke it down right. He said that's talking about the time of the building of the temple. What is that? Not Esther, but Ezra 4.
Yeah, Ezra 4.
Remember when they rebuilt the temple? That was during that time.
Right.
That was during the rulership of Darius, which the dude said. I said he was right on that. So the temple was what? The decree to rebuild the temple for Israel or Judah was given by who? Who made the decree?
Cyrus.
Good. Cyrus.
What was he? Persian.
Well, Cyrus was he was a Mede.
He was me?
Cyrus was a Mede. Then you had Darius that came. You had a succession of rulers. Darius came on the scene, and they had to go to the records because they said, oh, the Israelites, Jews, were supposed to build a temple. So they said, where did you get that from? Oh, Cyrus said. They said, well, Cyrus is long dead. So what they do, they had to go to the records because they kept everything on record. That's what Esau got records now. And they can pull out shit that be in the system. They'll pull out shit that you did when you were 12 years old. Go ahead.
Hey, Cyrus is Persian. Cyrus is Persian.
I'm talking about the Darius that put the order out to have the king of Babylon.
Oh, he's a Mede. Yeah, he's a Mede.
He was a Mede. Go look it up. Look it up.
Yeah, it says it right here in the first verse.
There was more than one Darius.
Yeah,
There was a Darius that was a Mede, and there was a Darius that was a Persian.
Right.
Okay, there was more than one. There was more than one Shalmaneser. All right.
Darius, first Ezra, 4th chapter.
Right. So there's more than one Darius. Right. So it was Darius, not the one that made the order to kill the king of Babylon. There was another Darius that came long after in that line. You go to Daniel 11. Those four kings, the fourth was richer than them all. That was a Darius. So he made the order. Okay, we checked the records. Cyrus did say we're going to finance Kingdom of Judah building the temple, right? So what date was that? What year was that? If you say 450, 445, you're about right. Go 490 years into the future. From 445, go 490 years to the future. If you go 445 years into the future, where do you wind up at? Yahushua being born, Yahushua's elder. You go another, 40, 50 years or so, another 45 years, that's when Yahushua, with his ministry, took his death, came back to life, risen. So that was coming to the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? So we know where we're at, right? So read again, start from the 24th verse. Read the whole thing all the way through. No, from the 4th verse, 24.
Daniel 7:24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up.
Who brought in everlasting righteousness? Go ahead.
To bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem.
So who made the commandment? Darius. That Darius, the Persian did it. Okay? Because he went to the record. What?
And to restore to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah.
That was during, when it was getting built up, that was during the time of whose life? Zerubbabel, Joshua the high priest, the fathers of Israel, right? The leaders of Israel. Come on.
It shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times.
What does it mean by the troublous times? That's an easy one. Come on now. Huh? What does it mean by the troublous times? I quoted the scripture. It's in Ezra.
When they try to,
exactly, that was in troublous time. They were giving a hard time to build a temple. We're building a spiritual temple. You got these Christians in vocab, they're giving us a hard time to building a spiritual temple.
Yep.
Come on.
It says, verse 26, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
So what does it mean that Messiah shall be cut off? What does it mean that Messiah shall be cut off? Raise your hand. Read it again.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
And a week represents 7 years. All right? Read it one more time.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
What does it mean? After 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off. More hands should go up. You looking like, I hope I got it right. Y'all supposed to know. Come on. Thank you. Y'all see that? Cut off means he was put to death.
That's right.
Cut off from this world when he was risen back up. So now it's bringing up to date to how it was shot. Let's read on.
But not for himself and the people.
Wait. What does it mean, but not for himself? He died for the children of Israel. But he also died for himself because he committed sin himself. Come on.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
Who's the people of the prince that shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary?
during the time of the Flavian dynasty.
Yes, during the time of the Flavian dynasty. You're right when you say Romans, but you got to like
Qualified.
Titus. Vespasian, Titus. All right? So what time period are we in right now? 78, 60, 70, around that time. Verse 1.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
That was 78. Come on.
And the end thereof shall be with a flood.
The end thereof shall be with a flood, meaning they're going to have the armies come in and overtake them. That's why the Lord made the prophecy. When you see the abomination that make it desolate, enter in and come, right? So some of them fled because they knew, and others stood around, and they got put to death. Come on.
And unto the end of the war, desolation are determined.
And in history, they actually call it war. I believe it was called the Roman Jewish Wars. So it was a war because you had the Zealot fighting, you had the Sicarii fighting. The Sicarii broke off from the Zealots. Now, who was the head Sicarii member? That's him. That's because it got to be him. He said it himself. But right, he believes he's him. I don't know that it's him or not, but Sicarii, I didn't even know about Sicarii. Doing research, Sicarii broke off from the Zealots. You know? So that could be him coming back. But what happened? They were killing each other. They were jockeying for position. Right? So they lost a lot of important men instead of fighting the Romans and the Herod's personal armies, which are men of war. That's in the scriptures. It said Herod's men of war, meaning his own personal army of Edomites. We say the Romans beat up Yahushua. It was actually Herod's men of war that did that. When you go back and read the history, right? So that's what. So we're up to date, right? Read on.
27. He shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
So what is it? To confirm the covenant meaning, the 1 week represents 7 years. So that 7-year period is from the time of about 66 AD, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. The last stronghold of Israel at that time was Messiah, right? So there was a time where they said they were cool with the Romans, with Herod. What caused that war in the first place? They were taxing the hell out of the day. They said, because what they wanted to do, they wanted to rebuild Rome again, because Rome was like it was dying. Like America, everybody talk about America dying. Same thing happened with Rome. Rome is not the power that it used to be. So when Vespasian came in and Titus came in, they said we got to restore Rome to its former self. Make America great again, make Rome great again, right? So that's what the whole war was all about. Come on, read on.
It says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
So the 1 week represents that period of about 66 to about 73, 74. 7 years, 7+ years. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
And in the midst of the week he shall cause.
The midst of the week was actually right about smack dab in the middle of the 7. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. About in the middle, but it was 3.5 years. Come on.
And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
Because what they were doing? They were sacrificing to the Lord, you know, getting right with the Most High. So the Romans stopped, nah, don't do that. They were killing them. How can you sacrifice when you're dead? They were running. Now when you go into their history, they were in Jerusalem, right? When this was during the time of Passover. They were in Jerusalem and had a wall. What they did was they built a fence around the wall. They put stone around it. They locked it in. Nobody can come in, nobody can come out. That's what that's talking about. Read on.
And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate.
Yeah, because if Esau goes into the temple, he desolated the temple. Right? He ain't got no business being up in it. Come on.
Even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Who are the desolate? Israelites. That's all I want. Now, we don't got to read no more. Now let's go to Daniel chapter 8. And who's somebody that's been in this thing for maybe 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. Someone new. They're gonna have a part to read for them. Who's willing to step up? Nobody? Not everybody knows. Certain faces in this. Okay, who wants to? Oh, I see your face. I see your face. He hiding in the back. Come on to the front. Get your feet up. Get your feet down. Get you everybody to read for you. Get you everybody to read for you. Come on to the front now. Right there is good. Right there is good. Speak loud enough so everybody can hear you. You're going to have everybody read for you. Everybody can read for you. We read loud. And I want you to do the Daniel chapter 8, the whole breakdown. You know it? You should know. That's all right. Go back. Who else want to break it down? Who want to break it down? You got to know them breakdowns, man. That's why we're a step above the other camp. Got to know those breakdowns. And we went through this before. I went through it. I did videos. We did it out on the street. So who wants to break it down? Give me a show of hands. Nobody wants to break it down? Okay, where's your reader? Who's going to read? So speak loud and read loud.
Alright, so this is Daniel 8.
Can y'all hear him? No, stay right there.
It's Daniel 8, verse 1. In the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, and I saw a vision, and I was by the river Ulai. Then I lifted my eyes, and I saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came last.
Ram represents the Persian Empire.
Right, it says, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. The two horns were high, but one was higher than the other.
So that was the one horn that was higher than the other was the Persian. Yeah, the Persian Empire was higher than the Egyptians. Yeah, the Medes first, but the Persians was one who eventually came bigger.
It says, but one was higher than the other, the higher came up last.
Right.
Be loud because it's being filmed. Everything's being filmed, man.
It says,
The whole world is watching y'all. What's wrong with the hard men? They don't know what scriptures. Why are y'all on earth? They been studying? See, that's your fault, Hard.
Yeah, somebody said
You
that.
wasn't right, nigga. Huh?
Somebody said that. Speak loud. Speak louder.
Speak loud so they can hear you. Speak loud.
it says,
Scream out, I mean, you know, lift up your voice like a trumpet.
verse 4, it says, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him.
Yes, Daniel 8. Yep.
Egypt, India,
Was it in Babylon?
Babylon. Right, it says,
Speak loud so everybody can hear you.
I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him.
The beast represents the nation.
There you go. Now Christians say they're talking about actual peace. No. Come on.
It says, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he according to his will, and became great.
Yeah, so the Most High made him.
Can everybody hear this man?
Yeah, the Most High
You gotta
made-
speak loud. Speak loud. Speak loud. Say, count from 1 to 10 loud so everybody can hear.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's how I want you to speak.
Right, it says, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will, and became great.
Right. So there was a great nation because the Most High set him up to rule for that period of time.
Verse 5, it says, and as I was considering...
How great was that nation? Give me some numbers. Huh?
157 states. Equivalent. 157 provinces.
127.
127.
America, a province is a state. How many states does America have? 50, 52. Right? So guess what? That was more than twice the size of America.
Yeah.
When you watch the movie 300, they said, when you look into the history of Alexander, they said Alexander, you crazy, thinking that you're going to defeat them. Ain't nobody going to defeat them. So why did Alexander decide to defeat them? Because the Most High was with them, time for them to go. Right?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
had a group of men called the, what's the untouched? Huh? Immortals. Why would they call immortals? Right. It didn't mean that they never died. It means there were so many of them. If you kill one, 2 will pop up in his place. And they showed you that in the movie.
Yeah.
So it seemed like these motherfuckers don't die. No, they was dying if you had somebody to replace them. No?
I think they ruled for like 200-something years, something like that.
Yeah, you can go into the history, Google it, give you the exact time. Come on.
Verse 5, it says, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Yeah, so
You gotta lift your voice up.
The he-goat represents the Greek Empire. Right? That notable horn which came from the west was Alexander. Which they came from Greek Mesopotamia.
Okay, good. What's his father's name?
Philip of Macedonia.
Is that in the scriptures?
Yes.
Alexander in the scriptures?
First Maccabees.
That's good. That's why he separated Maccabees from the scriptures.
Right.
Now right there it's going to say the king is Greek. Look up the word Greek and it Greeks. But in Maccabees it mentions Alexander, it mentions Philip, it mentions Antiochus. That's why this devil separated the Bible. So who was the goat? If you ask Vocab, that he didn't know. The Antichrist. That's what the Christians say. Who's the goat? The Antichrist. What does the horn represent? Good and evil. But you're going to come good, then you're going to be Christian. You find it out that Christians don't know shit about the Bible. Right? Come on now.
Right. Verse 6, it says, and he came to the ram that had 2 horns. And I seen standing before the river, and ran unto him the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with the collar against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns.
Yeah, so that was the Greek Empire. They took down the Persian, the Medo-Persian Empire, and they defeated them in 3 battles. Okay? And the
That's
last
yours.
battle-
That's yours.
The last battle that they had, was the battle of
Come on.
Right. And smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
So Alexander, that horn that was great. Alexander became a great leader in Greece, and
Right, it said, therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and he was strong, and the great horn was broken.
because Alexander won, he had a lot of battles.
You gotta lift your voice.
Many nations. Yeah.
It says, and for it came up 4 notable
Yeah,
ones.
so Alexander eventually died, and the 4 notable horns are the 4 main generals that came up with him.
Name it.
Which is one general was Lysimedes,
Good.
Cassandra, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. So those are the 4 notable generals that came up with him.
It says, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. Verse 9, it says, and out of one of them came forth a little horn.
Because the 4 winds of heaven, they all reign in those regions, right? Ptolemy reigned in Egypt. I know Seleucus reigned in Syria, towards the east. West, Ptolemy in the south.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east.
Ask some people online, can they hear the brother?
A couple of them said no. You gotta lift your voice.
Gotta lift your voice. Gotta lift your voice, brother.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah,
You can
move
go
down
over
here.
slide over here. But you gotta lift your voice.
Which waxed exceeding great toward the south. Okay. Verse 9, it says, and out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south.
Yeah, and that little horn represents
There you go.
Antiochus.
I thought it was the Antichrist.
Antiochus was the 4th of Epiphanes, okay, which came from out of the Seleucus dynasty.
That's right, bro.
And toward the east,
Yeah, so push forward.
it says, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land.
Which is that region of Syria and towards the land of Israel.
Verse 10, and it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground.
Which represents Israel. Which is the host of heaven, which is the stars represents Israel. It's at Revelation 12th chapter, read about that. Isaiah the 14th chapter, represents Israel and the stars. Also in Genesis, Most High told Abraham how he will multiply Israel, his people as the stars in heaven.
Approximately what year would that be around? You got to know your dates too, you know.
Yeah, that's about 150 to 200 years BC. But remember that during that time that you read them, during the time of the Maccabees. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. And if you do the math, he came from the Seleucid Empire. That's 312 BC, 137 years bringing to 175. So that's around that time.
Yeah, the brother put that there too, the brother from England. But remember, you can't read that because it's not canonized. According to the great vocab Malone, the Apocrypha is not canonized, so you can't.
Come on.
Right. It said, verse 10, And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea,
Yeah, because Antiochus brought slaughter to the nation of Israel. He made them sacrifice, unclean beasts in the temple. Israel didn't do it. He put them to death. So, Antiochus was bringing great tribulation upon the nation of Israel.
Now, where can we find that account?
Right.
Where can we find that account? In the Apocrypha. That's why the Apocrypha is so important, because it goes into that history of Antiochus, all the wickedness that he did. You
I
got
believe
it.
he was trying to take Cyprus, and the Romans hindered him. Pretty much put a circle. No, he was trying to go into Egypt, and he was stopped by the Romans. And then due to his frustration, he took the frustration out on Israel. Right?
Oh yeah. That's in the. I believe that's in the Apocrypha. That history. Yeah. You got it.
Verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
Yeah, that's right. So that goes into where Antiochus, took over the temple and made Israel. He took away the sacrifices, took away the laws, statutes, and commandments from Israel to follow, and brought in those wicked laws, sacrifices, and enforced them on Israel, right? Like sacrificing swine to altars. Okay.
Yeah, he made them grow long hair on men.
Yeah, made them wear hats. You had that high priest Jason.
Tattoos,
Yeah.
uncircumcised, walk.
Yeah, the Bible calls him an ungodly wretch. You got it. He was the one that made Israel the men start wearing hats.
Come on.
Verse 12. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered.
Which is the same thing which we just expounded.
Right? Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto the certain saint which spake, How long shall the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? And he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
I think that priest was Ananias. The one that said that was Ananias the third, that priest.
But the number, like, you remember.
It says, and he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
What is that talking about? Read another verse about that. We went through that, man.
Right. It says, Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto the certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation?
Who stopped the daily sacrifice? Exactly. Come on.
And the transgression of desolation to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. And he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
What is that talking about? Y'all should know that. Somebody help him out. Good. So what is it talking about? What time period is that? Six plus years. What is it talking about? What happened? Give me some characters that was living during that time.
Judas Maccabee had the money back.
Okay, but who stopped the sacrifice? That's all I want to know. That's what it's talking about. When you go into the history, when you go into the secular history, it says that Antiochus, when he took him down, it was for about 6 years and change. So that shows you that the scriptures go hand in hand with the secular history. And you know what this does? Daniel 8, Daniel 11, they already took place. So why should we talk about it? We talk about it because it's a faith building. You know why? Because you say, well, wait a minute, that actually happened. Because you guys mentioned Antiochus, Alexander,
Antiochus.
the Medes. So if that book was written before that happened, that means the Bible is right. Right? That's what it means. So all that is the faith building. That's why we read. All right? Go ahead.
Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
There you go.
Yeah, GMS Shine the Gospel asked, who was that? Everybody told him Antiochus. So you got people learning, you know.
Come on.
Verse 15, it says, and it came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man.
Which is the angel came into Daniel.
And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision.
So Gabriel, one of the archangels, is going to break.
What does Gabriel mean?
Gabriel.
Somebody help him out. You gotta know that Hebrew, man. You want me to send you the IUIC?
Warrior of God. Warrior of
Right. For that matter, what does Michael Allah mean? Michael. Who's like the Most High. Rapayala, what does that mean? What's the other one that's for? Uriel. What's Uriel? Light. Light of the power. Yeah? See, if you was in the IUIC, you would know that. You know? Come on.
Yeah. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. Now, as he was speaking with me,
The end of what? The end of the world? No, the end of that. There's sometimes these Christians will read the end, that's talking about the end of the world. That's the great thing. No, it's talking about the end of that particular vision, which already took place. Right? Come on.
now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be.
It's not talking about the end of the world, the year 2000, whatever. It's talking about the end of that fulfillment. Okay? Because when was this vision spoken of? You understand? Daniel's vision, right?
Yeah.
Daniel was living in what empire? The Babylonian Empire and the Persian and Medes Empire.
Yep.
Matter of fact, what position did he have in the Persian and Medes Empire? Well, he was the president. It says president, right? Vice president means vice, meaning like the viceroy, second in command, but he was the president. And I believe the three boys, let's call them, also known as president. Where's that in scripture?
7
No, not Daniel 7. Daniel 6. Not 6. Daniel 6, start us Daniel 6 and 1.
Yeah. Daniel 6 and 1.
So you can ask a question, did they have presidents back there? As a Christian, no, they didn't have presidents back there. The first president was George Washington. So when you know that Daniel was a well, you crazy. Then you tell them to read the scripture. These Christians, even these trained Christians don't know the scripture. They don't know these scriptures, man. Tell them about reincarnation. They don't know. So go ahead and read that.
Daniel 6 and 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first.
So guess what? You had princes, right? Which are leaders, right? But you had presidents. You had 3 presidents that was all over the other 120. Ultimately, it was 127. Right there, it says 120.
Yeah.
So you had this prince over here, which is what? Like a governor, right? You have a governor of this state, a governor of that state. Then you have presidents, right? Yeah.
This is etymology of Lot, late 14th century. President means appointed governor of a province, chosen leader of a body of persons.
There you go. Come on.
Verse 20. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
So that's the ram spoken about earlier in the chapter. The Media-Persia Empire.
Verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of...
Yeah, so the angel is breaking it down to Daniel what the vision means that Daniel received.
And the rough goat is the king of Greca.
Which is the king of Grecia, which is Alexander.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Which is Alexander, which is the first king of the Greek Empire.
Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, the 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
Yeah,
right. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
Yes. Alexander was broken, died, and before
Now you notice what the sister did, right? You should pass yours to get the question. She can sense that we're holding it. You know? Go ahead.
Right. Now that being broken, wherefore as 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
Yeah, so those are the 4 generals that rose up and divided the kingdom upon themselves, okay? Because they wasn't promoted or anything, because Alexander died. So they took it upon themselves and split the kingdom amongst themselves.
Where the history says that it says but not prosperity, it says Alexander's kids didn't get none right, because the history said that those guys killed the king. They said, let's kill them, so we can take the kingdom and split it up. So they was really against Alexander, right?
And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding.
That's got to be the Antichrist. Let's talk about now rapture, 7-year rapture. No, it's talking about the end. It's talking about the end back then. That's during that time. You know, Christians don't know shit.
A king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall come up.
Yeah, so that is talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, which we broke it down early in the vision.
And his power shall be mighty, but not with his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
And we mentioned how during Antiochus' rule, he was just a straight devil, man, straight ruthless and bringing wickedness and forcing the nation of Israel to commit wicked acts. They couldn't be circumcised, and mentions in Maccabees how they made the children of Israel uncircumcised themselves. Okay, when you actually do the history, they made Israel perform a procedure called epispasm, where they had to actually put the foreskin back on. So that's the straight wickedness.
And go ahead.
You also had the account with Eleazar. It was actually forcing him to eat the pork. And they told him, listen, you don't have to eat pork. You can eat some lamb and just say it was pork. You had Jacob and all manners of wickedness.
Yeah, so they're gonna have certain jakes Well, we know some of these guys, these other camps, they sold out. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bring it on out.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change time and law, and they should be given into the hands until a time and a dividing of time.
What is that talking about?
That's the fucking 350 years.
So what time period is that talking about?
That's the one time Antiochus.
No. The scholars will tell you that's what it is. Let's talk about this time.
Oh,
Let's talk about this time. But the scholars will tell you that, man.
Revelation, yeah.
Right, Daniel 7, bro, goes from the beginning to the end. Daniel 8 only goes to a certain point. Maccabees. Alright? That's why the Christians, if you go to, like me, when I do videos, I go to the commentary, and I like to go there because they're all top scholars. They all been to seminary. They all contradict themselves. Did not Paul say, what does he say?
Same thing.
How can two walk together except that you agree? I'm quoting English. That you all do the same thing. These Christians don't even have right. So if vocab don't get on anybody, then you get all these Christian groups and get them all together, but they're not on the same page. So what the fuck you come with us fucking with him for? Because he was sick, man. You know? Vocab is a running joke, man. But come on.
20. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand
that's what Titus did. Vespasian, Titus, and between the 7-year period, between the week, they shall break their covenant. So that's what Esau does as a president. They make promises. We're going to do this, we help the poor, no black people, we're going to help this. Then when they get in the office, they don't do shit. You know? So come on.
He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
Who is that?
That's talking about when he put to death.
But what does it mean? He shall also stand up against the prince of princes.
Blaspheme Most High.
That's what it means. But Yahushua wasn't there. Right? But he was going against the children of Israel. It's like F your God, this, that, and the other. That's blasphemy. Revelation 17, blasphemy. No?
And him being broken without hands because he wasn't killed in battle. He was the Most High plagued him with like a virus that ate him up. Yeah, that ate his bowels out.
That was parasites, man. Like that. Like this, around no, brother, y'all don't know. That last year it used to happen a lot and it kind of cooled down. And recently, man, he would just look like he ready to fall. And I told him, look, brother, go sit in the car, man. He was sitting in the car. Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? He was so fucked up going back to my crib that we had to send him to the hospital, man. And we left you with him, right?
Yeah, me and Sakura.
No, we left him over, then y'all went back.
Okay, right.
So he was in the hospital for a while, and they did all them tests. They still didn't know what the fuck was going on. So the Most High got it where the Mashapot, that brother's a Gadite, man. That's a medicine man right there. He showed the pictures he showed you last week. He talked to me on the phone. He said there was all kind of parasites. That's in my fucking system. Not as bad as his, because he's all fucked up. I can walk around and shit. So as soon as I get that fucking machine, I'm using that bitch, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, he said the other day he shit out something that looked like a fucking large fish with teeth and all that. So he's like bugging out. What the fuck is that? So the Mashrabat said, that's the mother parasite. So you got all these. See, when you get a parasite in you, it grows and it takes over your body. So if you don't get it out, man, it's just gonna take over you and you're gonna just drop dead. And that's how Antiochus died. The parasites. Go ahead.
I saw your video on the health. You didn't get the machine yet, right? Or the thing you say you're gonna get?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna let y'all know as soon as I'm gonna get one, man. I'm gonna get one, man. All that. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all something. Right here. Okay, you got it? Yeah. Okay. That's the machine?
Yeah, that's the machine right here. Detox, it's called ironic detox, fluid detox, foot squat.
Show him. Show him.
Right here.
And those doctors, they're not keen on that, on the parasites and shit like that. They'll say it's something, it's diabetes, this, that.
Yeah, the brother from England. The brother from England. The brother from England, Yawakanan, said for parasites in stomach, buy cloves and wormwood and black walnut, which
let them know that's what I use every fucking morning.
Exactly.
The cloves, wormwood, the black walnut.
You got some pesky parasites, man. They don't want to leave.
Hey man, I get every morning because I've been on this thing for months. They said one of the signs of dying off, when you wake up in the morning, you got crust in your eye. How many of y'all get crust in your eye in the morning? That's every morning? Yeah, for years, maybe when I was a kid I got it. When I did that shit at Clemson, I can't even see. I gotta wipe all that crust from my eye, but that's parasites coming at you. But see, when you get rid of certain parasites, they regroup. That's why it's a war. You gotta go to war with them. So you kill 1 million of them, then you get another 1,500,000. You gotta keep going to war, and eventually the numbers dwindle down to nothing, man. They told me when you do it, he said, look, if you do that, you're doing it for at least 6 months. You're gonna have to battle these motherfuckers. If you go to Esau's hospital, first of all, they gotta diagnose it if they can't. They gotta be a specialist in that. And they have to give you a certain, which is chemicals, which I don't want to fucking take. But they'll say, even with their medicines, it's gonna take you 2 months or more. You just can't, you just get a pill and all of a sudden you gotta, then they tell you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go outside at a certain hour, you can't see. You can't miss, it's all kind of shit, man. All kind of shit. One of the brothers, I just found out, Tazadakia, he's suffering from stage 4 kidney disease. So I looked it up when Apostle Ramlab told me. I looked it up. I did the read on me. I did the research. Basically, all your diseases come from your lifestyle. The way you eat. If you eat, you get away with it, man, because you got filters. The natural filters is your kidneys is a filter, and your liver is a filter. Then you got your gallbladder, which works with the liver, and all that is a filter. That's why I used to feel this pain, because when the poison is coming out, it's coming out through this, through your filters. So for years, you're young, your body takes it, it fights it. But after so many years, it can't do it no more, like a flood in the car. Alternator goes after a while. So you eating all that garbage, eventually you walking one day and all of a sudden you faint. You go in the hospital, oh, you got diabetes, you got high blood pressure, you got stage 4 cancer, you got this, you got, and it says one disease adds to another. So when you got this disease, yeah, well, you got that disease because this disease that you didn't take care of turned into another disease. So a lot of people, when they die, check dies because they're all fucked up. Check out how most chicks die because of bad diet. You know? Well, go ahead, Don. I heard about this. Yeah, the worm. Yeah.
That's why I don't get to these trucks.
Go ahead, Don.
There's a herb from Guyana. We call it
some of it, brother.
Yeah, I've heard of Cenapod.
It's good because, you know, your intestine.
Okay.
That's an island thing.
All right, all right.
Cenapod, yeah.
Soursop, soursop, soursop. All right. Yep. Moringa, moringa. Yep. Go ahead, bring it on out.
That he was spitting smoke with our hand. You go to 2nd Maccabees, 9th chapter, right? Right to the point, 2nd Maccabees 9:9, it says, so that the worms rose out of the body of this wicked man.
Parasites. Parasites, man.
And whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away, and the filthiness of his smell was loathsome to all his army. Now,
You know they were smelling the rotten flesh. They got it. It's in Florida. They got a flesh-eating disease now, a flesh-eating virus. And this, the medical field, they can't help it. It's resistant to all kind of medication. So this man is going down, brother. Once you get it, brother, once you get that flesh-eating disease, there's nothing we can do. But that's why you got to go into nature. The herbs can do it. And see, Esau threw away all the herbs and called them herbology. He called them quacks. So now it's coming back to fuck them up. And then of taking Esau's medicines, they heal one thing, but they fuck up the kidneys, man. Murder by injection. There you go.
Oh yeah,
There's a video on that. If you go to YouTube, that's a Eustace Mullen, Murder by Injection. That's the book, but there's a video on it. And he breaks it down that the whole medical industry was set up by the Rockefellers. It was all about money.
We knew about that going back to what, 1996. And we used to teach that at the House of David. That's why our class grew, man. When we started, we had one student. That was the guy from England.
Yeah, the little
Danger Mouse.
From England, he was our first student.
Yeah, the brothers called him Danger Mouse.
Go ahead.
It's a great tool to keep your body clean, keep your body happy and good is intermittent fasting.
Oh yeah, I've been doing that too. We've been doing that. Matter of fact, this morning, I do my regiment, my weight, I'm hitting the weights and all that. Friday was the day I was supposed to do it. I said, man, it was rain. I said, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it today. Fucking, I don't feel like doing it. But you know what the Spirit told me? You better goddamn do it tomorrow, which is today. I got up at 5 o'clock. I took my, what do you call that shit? Damn. I take it every fucking morning. No. What are the pills I take?
Magnesium?
No, not magnesium. No. It'll come back to me. No. It's to kill parasites.
Oh,
Thing that I always
wormwood?
take.
Is it wormwood?
No, there's something else. Damn. I take that shit every fucking day.
Yeah, you got me.
Oh, probiotics. Probiotics and pills. I take a thing called seed. It's in a green box. I take that shit every fucking day. And right after that, I kind of lay down the rest. It's time to work out. About 7 in the morning, I was on the weights, doing the weights. And right after that, I went out and I did a 2.5-mile walk. But now I'm starting to run. Last time I did, I actually ran it. I would run for about 2 minutes and I would walk for a minute and run. And it's like, if I miss one day, the next day I'm on it, man. With my spirit. You didn't do it that day, you gotta do it today. So till tomorrow I'm off, and Monday I'm back on my grind. You know?
Another good alternative to take to fight parasites and viruses colloidal silver.
Oh yeah, I have it. Yep.
2nd Maccabees 9:9 says, so that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man, and whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away, and the filthiness of his smell was loathsome to all his army. And the man that thought a little before could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry for his intolerable stink. Now, you do the research, they say it was a disease called peritonitis. And you read it says, inflammation of the membrane lining the abdominal wall and covering the abdominal organs. Peritonitis is usually infectious and often life-threatening. it's caused by leakage or a hole in the intestines. That's why it smells like shit. Such as from a burst appendix. And you read the symptoms, it says severe belly pain that gets worse with any motion, nausea and vomiting, fever, sore, swollen belly, fluid in the belly, not able to have a bowel movement or pass gas, less urine than normal, thirst. So he had all of that stuff in his intestines, and they were like, this dude stink.
Yeah.
You know?
All that. You next.
Real quick, since we're talking about letting the toxins out, that's how the brothers are using deodorant. Try not to get antiperspirant deodorant, because what that does is it closes up the pores on the armpits.
Oh yeah,
and all
that
sweat just
chemical
gets-
shit is fucking your shit up, man. You gotta go all natural, brother. Yeah. That's right. Go ahead, Al.
I use like scented oils. Those were too, but yeah, I don't go to the point. I was gonna say, it helps like
But you know what that's from? That's parasites. You got a little couple of parasites. All of us got parasites. Some got more than others. You know? So how many more verses you got? 2 more verses.
Verse 25, it says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. I'll jump down. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days.
Right, so that's the angel speaking to Daniel. So shut up the vision. It should be for many days because
Because it's going to happen after Daniel died.
Right.
After Daniel's long gone. You know? Because Daniel lived around 500 plus 600. Babylon lived around that time. When that vision came to pass, that was during the time of the Maccabees. So we're talking about, 400 years later. You know? So that's it? Go ahead.
And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. Afterward, I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it.
right.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, we tell people, when people get on us, we say we know more than the prophet, right? I said, you're already going off, forget the most I'm going to kill you, talk about we know more than the prophets. When we go into the scriptures, when we go into the prophets, don't we play them down? So it's obviously known, right? Read that again.
Right. And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. Afterward, I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it.
There you go. So all those, I said it many a time, all those prophets and visions, they didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Oh, okay. Hey, well, don't be surprised if what's this dude that plays in China. What's his name? How? He been watching us. He been watching. All them guys be watching us, man. All them guys, all them boxers. They all watch. They all know about us. All the singers, the entertainers. They all know. They know about GMS, IUIC, they know about Sakari. They know about all of us. And they watch our videos on the regular. And don't be surprised if they got the names. What does this mean? It could be some celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're gonna we got together at 6:30.
Hour and 4 minutes.
An hour and 8 minutes. So anyway, next week we're gonna let y'all go. And you know why? You know why? As a quick, I'm just going to y'all. Who y'all going for?
I got Spence.
Spence? I like both of them. I like both of them, but I like Spence. But then again, I like, I'm kind of like, I like both of them. So I hope that it's like a fight where it's like a close decision. When maybe the guy wins the first fight, or it's a draw. It ain't going to be no draw. It ain't going to be no draw. It's got to be a clear winner. If it be a controversial wig which makes them want to fight against it. That might be like Ali Frazier. Ali Frazier, those are 3 great fighters. So it could be that, but then again, it could be a man just walk over Crawford and just fuck him up. Then there's not going to be no rematch, you know? So we don't know, man. We don't know. That's why we want to watch the fight. So next week, when we close up, we're going to let y'all go early. Then next week after that, we go back to the normal schedule. And we're going to start doing these classes after camp. All right? But make sure y'all get up on your, mostly we're going to be covering those breakdowns. So get up on your breakdowns. Everybody should know the breakdowns, man. Everybody should know the breakdowns. So call it and react.
Oh, you shot it. Martin. Hurrah. Got the baton dismissed.
All right.